Well, for the fourth time, count them 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be the fourth time our teams have met in the playoffs. An instant classic almost every time. The 13-second game, the coin toss, everything is pointing to a terrific game on Sunday between the Bills and the Chiefs. We do have to go to Kansas City. That does worry me. It's a hard stadium to play in. I've been there enough. I know it is difficult to be an opposing team at Arrowhead. I have a couple of questions. We have a couple in the show script, and one is, what is a path to victory
just
for
talking
Kansas City?
Yeah.
But I really want to know, because has Kansas City played a team as talented and as well-rounded as Buffalo all year long?
Yeah, they did. On November 17th, they played Buffalo in Buffalo.
Uh-huh. Aside from that game, which they lost, the only loss of the season for Kansas City, had they played another team that even comes close to matching up to the Bills?
I think so. I mean, they played the Ravens in week 1. I mean, I actually think the Ravens are a better roster than the Bills. I mean, the roster of the Bills isn't that impressive. That's kind of the whole point of like why people were picking against them this preseason. So
yeah, but it's the well-roundedness of the team. It's everything's just jiving for them at this moment.
I mean, you can't make the conference championship game and say, oh, you haven't played. Like, I mean, they've kind of played everybody in front of them.
Right, but I'm just saying, this is now this is where, obviously, this is what it's designed to do, right? The two best teams in this conference are going to battle it out. And I guess, are you worried? Obviously, I know we both are a little worried, because anytime our teams play each other, we don't know who's going to win, and you guys just own us in the playoffs. That's just how it is, and we own you in the regular season. That's how it's been for so long. But does it just feel like there's something about Buffalo that this year it's going to be different to you? And then also, what do you do as the Chiefs to game plan around that?
To the first point, yes, there is something that feels different about Buffalo. You can go back to our conversation talking about the Bills-Ravens game. It's really the fact that they're finally doing what we've been wanting them to do, which is not make Josh Allen carry the team. He has cut down the turnovers. They have a run game. They have a defense. Sean McDermott's coaching really well. They're not making mistakes. They're not giving you the game. They're just controlling the football game, and they're dictating the way the game plays out. Are they going to be able to do that in Arrowhead? I don't know. As you could say, now they've played each other more times, but just in the Mahomes-Allen era, there have been 3 chips. In 2021, that was the one Kansas City won in the AFC Championship game, kind of going away, 38-24. Then in 2022, the divisional round, the 13-second game, Chiefs won 42-36. And then, of course, last year in Buffalo, where the Chiefs won at 27-24 after Bass was wide right at the end of the game. This is kind of Josh Allen's moment. Can he do it? Because it seems like two things colliding. It seems like Josh Allen can't get past the Bills, can't get past the Chiefs in the playoffs, and no team's ever gone for the three-peat. And they're colliding together, and one of them is going to come out on top. I'm happy that one of our teams is going to the Super Bowl. That's cool. That's fun. I find it hard to bet against Mahomes. Until I see it, I just can't pick against Mahomes in a playoff game. But I'm so worried. I am so worried because I don't feel like Josh Allen is phased at all. I would have much rather played the Ravens. Josh Allen knows how to play the Chiefs. I think he's going to have a dominant day. I think he's going to run all over them. I don't know what the Bills' defense is going to be able to do. We'll see how much they can neutralize the Chiefs. I don't know. The Chiefs have a really good run defense. They should be able to hold James Cook in. But I think it's going to come down to which quarterback makes the bigger plays at the end of the game. And that's what this game should come down to. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more, man. And I'm scared about it too.
How are you feeling as a Bills fan? Like if you're just looking at it, because we can take our time on this. This only happens once a year if we're lucky. How do you think they have to approach it? What do you think the odds are? Like, what's your just general vibe of it as a Buffalo fan?
I mean, all of it goes out the window. There's no data. I don't care about the data. Put it that way. Because the data says that the Chiefs should win this football game because it's happened every time. So if you go on odds, the odds say that Chiefs will win. However, I do feel like there's just something in the air in Buffalo that they're fighting with a different passion behind them. It's a little bit different. Just the atmosphere is a little bit different. They've adjusted to each other. And what I really loved about this Ravens game that Buffalo played is that Josh Allen didn't have to try hard, So he's got all that pent up inside him. He's ready to go. He's like, hey, if it needs to be put on my back, buddy, I got it. But we cannot do what we've done before where we start out the game that way. I hope personally, this is a low scoring game. The Bills control the clock and we beat you guys by a touchdown. That's how, if I could write a script for it, that's how it would go. It's, we stop you guys, we cover up Kelsey, maybe we get Mahomes to make a turnover. I honestly, I think it could come down to a turnover too. Like I could see that happening. I could not necessarily even from the quarterbacks, the running backs fumbling or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I could see a turnover really altering this game and being the deciding factor on who wins. We've seen it before where it's a shootout, right? The 13-second game. It was whoever got the ball last, I think, was going to win that football game. And that's what happened. So I loved that game, but my stress and anxiety can't take that again. So that's why I'm hoping, if I can have an ideal game, we get up, by 2 touchdowns, we let you guys back in it. You get within a touchdown, we get the ball last, we drive downfield, take our time, hit 2 knees, we're out. That's how I hope it goes.
So you kind of how it went earlier this year. I mean, the score was somewhat what was it, 30-21? But it felt like in the third quarter that game was over. Like the Bills just controlled it.
Yeah, and the Bills have had several games this year where they've just taken the life out of the team, their opposing team, early in the third quarter or even midway through, and it feels like the game's over. Even though the score may get close toward the end, it just feels like the Bills could turn it on at any moment and do that extra thing if they needed to. But they usually don't have to, and I hope it goes that way this time. But I
don't think that's
going to happen. I've held up a sign before that said Mahomes is my daddy. I don't want to do that again.
If you're Buffalo, you have to somehow manage the game to where you end the game with the ball. And that's even with the 13 seconds. You scored 13 seconds too quick. Now, we can talk about the way the defense handled that afterwards. Sure. If you give Mahomes the football at the end of the game, down 1 score, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. If Mahomes gets the football with 3 seconds left, down 8, I'm thinking Chiefs are winning the football game. He just finds a way to do it. So I want to see Buffalo manage the game, put themselves in a position to where, I don't want to see it, but that's what I would want to see if I was a Buffalo fan, to where they don't have to rely on stopping last-minute heroics. I don't think they're going to be intimidated by Arrowhead. I do think it's going to be way different from the earlier game because that was in Buffalo, and Kansas City didn't have a lot of their players. Now they've got Hollywood Brown. They've got Hopkins more into the offense, Xavier Worthy feeling more comfortable. I am worried about Kansas City's run game. Isaiah Pacheco just has not been the same since the injury. You really can't count on him. I want to see Kareem Hunt get more touches than Pacheco. I think he's going to be crucial. The Bills, we'll see what James Cook can do against this run defense, because if Kansas City is able to stop and neutralize the run early and often, that's going to put the Bills in the box where they're going to have to use Josh Allen. Now, earlier in the season, James Cook only got 9 carries for 20 yards, and they still won the football game. Josh Allen threw it 40 times in that game. I don't think that's going to be an answer. He threw it 40 times. Patrick Mahomes threw it 33, but Patrick Mahomes had 2 picks in that game. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I think if the quarterbacks get into a throwing contest, I'm probably leaning Patrick Mahomes. I think the Bills need to play a complete football game to win and just limit the mistakes.
You had said the Commanders preview that if the Commanders score over 30 points, then isn't that what you said? If they scored,
I said I think if the Commanders score over 30 points, they win the football game. Yeah.
I think the Chiefs need to score 30 points to win the football game.
Oh, interesting. I'm kind of the opposite.
And I think that's one of their kryptonites is that the Chiefs rarely get over 30 points. It's not common. They play these long drives and these methodical football. And I'm just looking at the score before, it was 30 to 21. So they won by 9 points. Bills got over 30 points. The Bills have gotten over 30 points in a lot of their football games, even in some of their losses. So I think the Bills have maybe a higher powered offense. I think what it may come down to is what Spag's going to do to slow it down, because I think if the Bills get over 30 points, that could be their key to success here, because I don't know if the Chiefs could do what it takes. I know they could, but in this whole...
No, I agree.
We're just talking about the football game, right? I don't know if the Chiefs could do what it takes to get over that hump and get, over 30 points to kind of match that offense of the Bills.
No, I agree. If you said, hey, if you told me right now, hey, Buffalo is going to score 32.
35.
You're going to have to score 34 to win. I'd be like, oh, I just don't know. Like, because that's not what the Kansas City Chiefs do anymore. This is not the Chiefs of 2018. If this gets into a 30-point shootout, yeah, Buffalo's equipped to win it. If this stays into the 20s, if we enter the fourth quarter, tied at 17 or 20-17, that's kind of going the way Kansas City goes. And it does feel like this might be one of those games that just comes down to the mistakes. Like, which team makes a mistake? And like you said, not even the quarterbacks. Who fumbles? And also, watch the special teams. So many times, no one ever talks about it. Special teams change football games. The Texans started off with a bad special teams fumble that gave the Chiefs the ball. The Chiefs win a bunch of playoff games because of special teams. Keep an eye on that, because that could be kind of the difference in the football game. I'm really excited because I think regardless of how the game plays out, when it gets into the third and fourth quarter and you feel it, because we've been there live, it feels different. A playoff is different. The regular season is not the same. Patrick Mahomes and that entire team finds another gear in the playoffs. They just do. He is not going to go down easy. He is not going to give it to you. But Josh Allen's not either. Josh Allen does not wilter under the lights. This is going to be a showdown for the ages. And it feels like Josh Allen, just like we said last year, but it does. It's like, this is a moment, man. And it feels right. As a Bills fan, aren't you kind of glad it's the Chiefs? Like, you don't want to win a Super Bowl without beating Mahomes. It's not, if you won a Super Bowl and someone else knocked off Mahomes, it wouldn't be the same.
Asterisk by it.
Exactly.
You just always have the asterisk.
Exactly.
Yeah, I made the Super Bowl in the Tom Brady run. Oh, did you beat the Patriots again? No,
that was the year they missed it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I'm super excited. I'm terrified. I just hope the moment doesn't get to Allen's head. I would love it'd be halftime and the Bills are up, 28-3. Like, I would absolutely love that. But we both know that that's not how it's going to go. And the game is really going to be decided starting about midway through the third, all the way to the very end. That's when the big game starts, in my opinion. That's how it always is when these two teams battle each other most of the time. I don't think there's any scenario where there's a blowout. I hope there is. I hope that the Bills just blow out the Chiefs.
I would be shocked if it was a blowout either way.
Oh, yeah, me too. I would be utterly amazed that either team, got up 3 touchdowns on one or the other. It's going to be a terrific game. It's already an instant classic. I've seen people talk about it ad nauseum. I can't put into words how excited I am that the Bills have the opportunity to hit the Super Bowl again. It's been a few years. It's here again.
Been a few years. It's been like 30 or something crazy.
No, since they've had opportunity to hit the Super Bowl.
Oh, since they've been in the AFC Championship game. Yeah, 2021.
Yeah. So it's exciting for me as a Bills fan, the whole Bills Mafia. I know we're all pumped. Something about it just feels like it's their year. I don't want to jinx it because Patrick Mahomes, So
it also feels like this might kind of is the Super Bowl. I'm not saying the NFC team can't win the Super Bowl. I think whoever wins this game is going to be favored in the Super Bowl. So there's a lot on the line. Not that the NFC team couldn't win it. Anything can happen in single elimination, but this game kind of feels like a legacy game for both guys. Mahomes wants that three-peat to separate himself from Brady. Josh wants to prove I can beat him. I can deliver. I can get that ring. Lamar can have his MVPs. I'm going to go lift the Lombardi. I throw it to you right now, Ryan. Obviously, use your Bills fan hat, but genuinely, objectively, best you can. Just if you could try to separate yourself, how do you feel the game turns out? What is your prediction? Who do you think wins the football game? Genuinely.
I think the Buffalo Bills win 31-28.
I think that's a really good prediction. So this is me being very honest, more honest than I want to be. If it was not for just Mahomes and the ability to like him having something I can't quantify, I would pick the Bills. I agree with you. It feels like there's something about the Bills. It feels like this might be the year. It feels like things are going right. But we've kind of seen Mahomes tear down other teams in that situation. It's kind of Brady-esque, as where like, oh, everything's going right. This is going to be the time. And you run in and to the beast. And it's not just Mahomes. It's Andy Reid. I think Buffalo is the better football team. I really do. And if I wasn't a Chiefs fan, I would probably pick Buffalo. I would not be shocked at all if they win the football game. However, just like we had last year, I give you the pass because this is your team, so you'll allow it. I am not and will never pick against Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game. Not saying he's never going to lose a playoff game again. He could lose this one. But until I see him do it, the dude comes through every single time. I'm going to give my prediction that he comes through again and the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl for their chance to three-peat. If they don't, then it will be well earned by the Bills, and I will hope that they win the Super Bowl. I'm really excited. I hope whoever wins this game wins the Super Bowl because one of us could do it. I've experienced it. Obviously, I want my team to win. It would be really cool for the Bills to win Super Bowl, and you could have that feeling.